Draymond Green has done it again.
Oh, man.
In today's episode, we react to Draymond Green's suspension.
Draymond Green has been officially suspended indefinitely.
Also, the UCL knockout stages are set, and Copenhagen is the ones that make it through with Bayern Munich, and we predict the upcoming UFC fights.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the BTO podcast.
Before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe.
As always, make sure you guys follow all our socials down below. We're back with the challenge videos. And audio listeners, make sure you guys download it, rate it, and review it on whatever platform you guys use. Before we continue with some obviously sports topics we have for the day, we dropped a guest podcast episode with Greg Wyshynski joining back again for the second time. Talked about international hockey, Greg's USA-Canada rivalry, especially with Greg, him being American, and other NHL topics we have. So we're not going to go NHL heavy today because just check out that one. It's already out on Wednesday. So on audio and on YouTube. So check that out. Great guest, great insights. So yeah, check that out below. Any thoughts on that one?
Not banged.
Greg, legend. I want to shout him out. Right before he was doing the Rangers game. He quickly hopped on for like 20-30 minutes and got it done. And then he hopped into the Rangers-Leafs game.
We got a lot covered, so it's not like we didn't get anything covered.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, shout out Greg Wyshynski once again. Make sure you guys check out his work on ESPN. He dropped a great article on Connor Ingram, killing the goalie who's killing it for the Coyotes right now, and how he dealt with some struggles that he went through throughout his career, and his podcast with Arda Ocal as well. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. We got to get into it with the NBA for once. And Draymond Green has been officially suspended indefinitely. This is his sixth.
Indefinitely, yeah.
Indefinitely. So there's probably going to be some stuff he has to do with the league. Draymond Green, 6th suspension in his 12th-year career. And he was already suspended earlier in the year for 5 games, what he did to Rudy Gobert. This time, he was handed a flagrant 2 foul, ejected for striking Phoenix Suns big man Jusif Nurkic on Tuesday night's loss. Now, to be fair to Draymond, he came out and apologized. Normally, he doubles down on what he's done.
Yeah.
So when you see the incident, you guys could Google it, or Joven might play a clip. I don't know how he will do it when he edits this, but I'm sure you guys could find a clip on.
You'll see the clip.
He literally said at post game, as you know, I'm not the one to apologize for things I meant to do, but I do apologize to Jusif because I didn't intend to hit him. I sell calls with my arms, so he's kind of opened. He's kind of opened himself to that he does flop or whatever.
He's exposed.
Flail and flop.
So if Draymond swinging his arms, that's a flop, refs.
So I was just selling the call because he was grabbing me and pulling my hip back. So I spun away and unfortunately I hit him. Now, to be honest with you, when I saw the play, I did see a slight grab, nothing crazy.
Yeah,
but at this
nothing to cause a guy to turn around and swing it for the face.
I saw that, and I'm like, okay, it seems like an accident because it's Draymond Green. I'm not trusting shit because it's Draymond Green.
All right, first question is this: what is Draymond's wrestler name? Donkey Man?
No,
no, that's a gimmick. What you got? Like Draymond Green. Like, I don't know what his wrestler name like.
Dude, WWE, AEW, whoever, call him up though.
Yeah, genuinely, you might get something like good. Him versus Logan Paul. I don't know what his name is gonna be. That's just putting me on the spot. But I don't know either. That's why I'm trying. We're trying to think through this together, but I can't think of one either.
Yeah, I'm not gonna waste too much time on that.
Yeah. But
okay.
But his finisher is either a curb stomp or a knockout punch.
So far.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. When he did that, I'm just like, what the hell? What's the point? Like, I'm watching the video back right now, like
it's why
that doesn't look unintentional either. When
it looks very intentional. It genuinely does look very intentional.
Yeah, this is, like I said, second time getting suspended. Like this year, I mean, we'll talk about the Warriors as well, how it'll affect them again. He's supposed to be one of the leaders on the team. You've missed games, 5 games due to suspension, plus that same game for getting ejected. You got ejected this game, now you're suspended indefinitely. This kind of reminds me of the time when like Matt Cook and Rafi Torres pretty much got kicked out of the league for so many suspensions.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, should Draymond be kicked out of the league?
I mean, I think it should come into question now.
I don't know. Okay, I don't think he'll get kicked out of the league because
I think that's
those
true.
guys did get like 41 game suspensions and stuff like that, or whatever. I mean, Todd Bertuzzi didn't get kicked out of the league, and he paralyzed a man. So that's a different sport.
Kicked out for a season?
No, he might have to. I believe, like, I don't know if it's just temper issues or what. This one, okay, he said that it was an accident. Sure,
I think it has to be at least 41 games.
Because Ja had to do some. I don't know if he had to do like community service or whatever he had to do for the gun stuff, right?
Yeah.
This one, I think he might have to take anger management or something.
I think it's 41 games.
Because it's been going worse the last couple of years.
I think it's 41 games. I'm just going to say it right now.
And that, like you're saying, Ja got 25, if you're wondering what the gun thing.
Like, it has to be. I don't
know how serious.
In my personal opinion, it has to be more than Ja. Because it's not like it's happened, like, say he did it, like, he had these issues year 1, 2, and 3. Say he had that, right?
Yeah.
But this has been happening in the last 6 months.
Exactly.
Like, he's
last 12 months even, if you could say, like, add the Jordan Poole incident.
Yeah,
as well.
So you could add that in there too. So like,
according to Shams, Green will be required to meet certain leagues and team conditions before he can return. Those rules will include counseling. So I don't know if that means the anger management or whatever. Like, who knows? Like, maybe he's going through something in the head. I'm not gonna like say anything. Like, NBA players are legit saying like he might need help, right? So again, jokes aside, like, we don't know like if he is going through something mentally that he's just letting the anger out on the court or whatever he's doing. Like, Draymond Green, everybody knows how good of a player he is. I think he's a Hall of Famer. Not first ballot, maybe. I think like based on what he's done on the play-wise, on the positive side of things, he's a Hall of Famer, 4-time champ, should get his jersey retired by the Warriors and all that, right? But dude, like, your team is still good. You're one of the leaders on the team. Steph Curry's out there playing MVP levels. Not just you. I know Clay is struggling, but like, how are you? Like, you guys should be better than this, right?
They should be
better. The problem is your pick and roll partner is your pick and roll action is usually Steph and Draymond, because Steph could play off the ball, which makes him the greatest shooter of all time, because he doesn't need the ball in his hands all the time, right? You could just get him to run around. Yes, the good thing they brought in Chris Paul, because he could do a similar role. But the problem is Draymond Green's your best defender on the team, one of the best defenders in the league. He's a big body, so like Chris Paul doing the screen is not going to be as effective as Draymond Green is usually. So. And then you could do the pick and pop with Draymond if Steph, like Draymond does a fake handoff, right, like to Steph, and then goes many plays that he does, and if you're not going to be on the court for it, go for it. We know a guy who's a big Warriors fan, and he retweeted a post on Twitter that said Steph Curry should just request a trade at that point, because it's not like Steph is doing everything he can. I'm sure Steph is like in his Mahomes shit, getting pissed off at his own team, and he's probably going to lash out on someone else.
Deserves to be.
Steve Kerr, same thing, right? I'm sure Steve Kerr watched back the chokehold and be like, okay, never mind, like, about the whole, you probably would misjudge certain things too. But it's getting ridiculous at this point. Like, your team is still good enough. We had you guys as a potential candidate. You were just a champion 2 years ago. Last year you had you struggled, but it was mainly away, and you still made it to the second round. It took Lakers to 6. And on top of that, like, this year, it doesn't help that you're not playing. Andrew Wiggins is struggling mightily. Klay Thompson isn't deserving of whatever contract he wants next year, that they might let him walk. Steph Curry's your only thing, and your rookies are doing decent from what I've seen. Now, granted, I haven't watched every Warriors game. We try our best, which is why we have a TV here now to put background in case the games are on, so we could react to certain things. But yeah, it makes no sense, right? Like, at this point, I think he's gonna get. I don't think he's getting 41. He might get like 20. Because, like,
he deserves more than Ja. No way.
But here's the thing.
25. If Ja's 25, he's getting 30.
I'm going based on history. Yeah. Ja's thing is a completely different thing. Ja's thing is an off-court thing. So I can't align the two things.
I know, but at the same time, this is what, 6th time doing the same shit over again.
And I agree with that.
Ja was like 2 times.
And I agree with that. But again, I don't know we don't know the league rules and how they assess certain things. Right?
If a man does something 6 times in a row, he should be assessed.
Well, I know, but I think the highest he's gotten was 5. Yeah, which is now. I'm basing
especially within a month of doing this. I'm basing it off that. I don't know how long he's gonna be out for, which is indefinitely, right? Yeah. What those requirements are and how long those requirements are gonna take. Are they gonna be included? So that might be.
Are they gonna be included in the suspension?
So that might be.
And then on top of that, what's gonna be added?
That might be included in. So it might result up to 30 in general. Yeah. But yeah, no. Simple fact on the Warriors is, like, you guys genuinely suck right now, and you're one of the leaders, and you're not acting like one. That's point 1. Point 2. This is the main reason why I picked Steph MVP, because I knew it's genuinely Steph and no one. Yeah. I'm not saying it's for these reasons that Draymond's gonna get suspended, Clay's gonna struggle and all that stuff, right? Well, Clay's struggling, I kind of put that into effect, but Steph is gonna have to carry this team at the end of the day.
Like right now, you're 3 games out of a play-in.
It's like the Mahomes situation. Like he's genuinely carrying the offense, even though he's not playing the best himself. The difference here is Steph is actually playing good.
Yeah, like Steph was considered MVP.
Steph is a deserving, like, genuine, like, all-star starter. And you could argue with between Steph, Shea, and Luka, like your 3 all-star starters for the West.
So speaking of the Warriors now, like obviously Draymond I think is gonna get double digits at the minimum. I don't think he'll get 30, but we'll see. Now he should. That's a different thing. I'm saying I don't think he will.
Yeah.
Right. Steph's 29.1 per game on 40%, 47% from the field, 42.2 from the 3-point, and 94 from.
So he's almost 50, 40, 90.
Yeah. 4 assists a game, 5 rebounds. Clay is at 15 a game, which is usually not the case, and he's only getting he's 39.7 field goal, 35 from 3. That's not the Klay Thompson we know, and I know he's not doing well defensively because of the injuries, which is fair, but the shooting shouldn't go away that much. Wiggins, 12 points per game, 41% field goal, 28% from 3, 63 from the field goal or free throw.
Wow, 63 from field.
Chris Paul, I get it, he's not there for the points, but his assists are up there at 7 fair. 8.9 points per game, 3.7. You're not going to rebounds. You're not going to ask much from Chris Paul, but even his efficiencies are low. 40% from the field. Normally, you see Chris Paul, that mid-range turnaround or whatever he does, it was usually
the elbow
efficient
jumper.
As hell. Yeah, the elbow jumper is usually efficient as hell. 35 from 3. Yeah, and then like you're rebounding, you're still small. Kevon Looney's only getting 8. He's not getting you double digits. Draymond Green's
the point is
Draymond Green playing. He's shooting the 3 decently well, 43%. Yeah. Now I don't know how many attempts that is, but at the same time, the fact that he's still shooting.
The point is, you guys suck.
Yeah,
right. As simple as that.
Like
you guys are playing bad right now, and you guys need to pick it up because there's only one. There's only one bright spot on your team, with Steph Curry.
Which you know what this reminds me of? Luka Doncic and the Mavs before Kyrie came.
Yeah, that's
kind of like similar. Like Kristaps Porzingis wasn't like on Lito. Is usually how far Luka took him. And I'm not saying Luka's the same player as Steph. I'm saying like the impact of Luka is like Steph. This is the version of Steph right now.
Steph level impact.
Steph's out, they're gonna get shot on, and Luka's out, they were gonna get shot on then too, right? So, yeah.
Yeah. So comment down below.
2 things:
Draymond's WWE wrestler name
and how long will he get suspended for. So you can do 2 pinned comments if you, or I guess
no
1 pinned comment.
Well, it be 1 pinned comment.
But you can put 2 comments out there, pin one of them.
Yeah. Well, I'll just point making.
Check out the Instagram. We might do a poll. We'll see how it goes. On our YouTube short or YouTube community.
So basically, okay. This is what the question is: how long he's gonna get suspended for?
Yeah.
His wrestler name, and his finishing move.
You know what? One thing we should
Those 3 things.
One thing we should do before we hop on these pods now: go on the Warriors like Reddit page and see like that's where all the forums are, like the reactions. So we know that we're not tripping out. We should do that. We should do a better job at looking at what fans think.
Yeah.
But if you are a fan of the Warriors watching this right now, comment down below. We love to hear.
So comment those 3 things.
It's a safe space.
Finisher, wrestling name, and how long you'll be suspended for. Those are 3 things we're looking for.
Yeah, and your just reaction of the team.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the Draymond thing. One thing I do want to say though is the Pistons losing streak is continued. Moving on from the Draymond stuff, and so is the Spurs. But the Spurs played the Lakers, and to be honest, when I watched them, they came back. They made it a possession game.
And the Pistons played the Sixers, so
but
Pistons.
Wemby is fun. Wemby's fun to watch.
Yeah, Wemby is fun.
Lakers play them again, so we'll see how that goes.
There's no knock on Wemby, bro. I'm telling you that.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying there's any knock on Wemby, but yeah, no, we'll see. The Pistons.
I'm actually surprised by the Spurs because when I saw them play the first game against the Mavericks, they looked really good.
They're not bad. I don't know why they're losing like this much. Now, to be fair, as the Spurs, we don't watch much of them.
I mean, when you're losing 16 in a row, like who would watch of them anyways?
I guess the Pistons are playing the Sixers again, and they just got demolished.
Yeah, no, they're like another week, at least.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of was based on they lost by 20, but
yeah, there's no
quick
chance.
reaction though. Your Raptors looked good today, and Pascal Siakam
exactly what I expected
against the Hawks, who I think are way more disappointing.
Exactly,
than the Raptors.
They're gonna have this one game that's gonna go good. Try to get like a couple games that are gonna be good.
You're better than the Hawks now.
Yeah, but give us some hope like that, and then shit the bed again. It's a cycle. I know the cycle. I've lived it.
The Atlanta Hawks, man, disappointing.
Yeah, they are.
They need to like.
They're young and
if that's the case, up their package and go get Pascal Siakam at this point. Like he cooked you guys today.
Yeah, he did.
Like, but not you guys. Like he cooked the Hawks today. So, yeah, it's crazy. You guys are ahead of them in the playoffs. You're in the play-in spot right now. Also, we got to see the big 3 today.
Oh, they finally played?
They played today. That's why I was in the room.
Oh.
They lost against the Nets.
Wow.
Ironic enough. Ironic enough.
Wow.
First game, though, so I'm not going to blame it too much. Just to see how it would work. They were close. They made a slight comeback, but Dinwiddie went off later. Dinwiddie went clutch mode and kind of closed the game off. But yeah, so the big three of Booker, Beal, and KD did play today after missing out Tuesday. How they did, KD 27 points, 50% on the field. Nurkic got 22 rebounds. Booker 34, and Beal only had 14 for 6 for 9. So honestly, it's just like it is the three of them. No one else really stepped up. Nurk got 15. So everybody else on the bench got I guess Nazir Little got 10, but no one else really popped off for them. So the big thing is you need to get all three of them going for at least 30 points a game.
Well, no, okay, 20.
25. At least two of them at 25.
No, so three of them 20, two of them at 25 minimum.
Yeah.
So it's about to be a 28, 28.
But then that's assuming, but if no one else steps up, then they need to go for 30 each to have a slight chance.
No, I don't think so. I think they'll be fine. I think Nurkic will do enough in his 15. And it will help propel that. Because I think Nurkic will get 15.
Yeah, I'm just saying in general.
Yeah, no, but I'm not saying I think it just one of you guys get at least 20 and then two of you at least get 25. You'll be fine. Yeah. And honestly, Booker and KD are capable of getting both of that. Okay,
let's move on to the NHL. I don't think there's anything else to talk about the NBA today. NHL, like I said.
There's one more thing.
Oh, yeah.
Giannis got his revenge.
64 points?
Franchise record, 64 points in a single game for Giannis Antetokounmpo, and getting his revenge on the Pacers, who eliminated them in the semifinals of the in-season tournament.
Yeah.
So the Pacers are back. I'm just kidding. No, they still dropped 126.
Yeah. They dropped. The problem with the Pacers is the defense. That's all it is.
Because they allowed 140.
Yeah, so NHL, like I said, Greg Pott is out right now off ESPN, Greg Wyshynski, so we're not going to go too much into it, but the one thing we did not cover is the news that broke after we recorded with Greg. Honestly, we talked about coaches getting fired, but that name didn't pop up.
Yeah.
We thought DJ Smith is the next coach to get fired, and I agreed with him. Check out his piece. It should be out or coming out about coaches being fired, but it's our preseason prediction more so. Craig Berube. Little surprised because the Blues weren't doing terrible, but I don't know if they just wanted to follow the trend of fire a coach and go get that coach bump. They let me just pull up the exact thing so I don't misread anything here. Oh, before I bring that, actually no, I don't want to mix up stuff here. I was gonna mention the Kyle Connor thing. That's why.
Kyle Connor's out 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, so we'll come back to that in a sec.
That's just quick. We'll just quickly do it right now.
I have Berube up now.
Okay.
Craig Berube fired. They named the interim head coach is Bannister. What is his full name? Drew Bannister. He was a head coach of the Blues AHL affiliate, the Springfield Thunderbirds. He's 49 years old and had been behind the bench of the Blues AHL affiliate for 6 seasons over their stints with San Antonio Rampage, Utica Comets, shout out them, former Canucks spot, and the Thunderbirds. Bannister coached the Thunderbirds to a Calder Cup final in 2022, 12-8-2 this Springfield is 12-8-2 this season. His first game will be on Thursday, so today, against the Ottawa Senators, who we might see DJ Smith get fired after the game.
We'll see. Especially if they lose to a new coach, he might.
Berube, he took over for Mike Yeo back in 2018, but then when the Blues were ass, they were so bad, and they ended up going to the Cup with that in that interim tag and won the Cup that year famously, right? One of the few anomalies in the league.
Yeah, that's just the best comeback story in recent memory in sports. They were dead last in the Central, managed their way to a 3rd seed, and won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah. So the reason why I'm surprised is because they're 6th in the Central. I get that part. They're 1 game below 500. Their team isn't supposed to tank really because they have Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou.
They have some pieces.
Colton Parayko. But Jordan Pennington's kind of coming back.
Yeah, but they're not
they're not a juggernaut.
So
I could see why they got fired in, but I wasn't expecting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I thought this had a decent little run.
Because you expected Woodcroft and Everson to get fired because they were shitting.
The thing with the Blues, they had a decent little run, so that's why I kind of caught off. You're oh, the Berube prediction might be wrong for us.
Yeah.
But then I guess they fallen back down a little bit. So
a game out right now. A point out, sorry.
Yeah, so it's just been a little bit of ups and downs for them, I guess. They just fired him on a little bit of a down spell. Yeah. This is coming off a 6-4 loss to the Red Wings as well.
Honestly, the Wild kind of fell off again. So, and the Oilers are obviously going to make it there. But yeah, that's Craig Berube getting fired. I still think that DJ Smith is next, or at least the hottest name to get on the 100%. Hot seat, like a burning hot, like how you
100%. It's DJ Smith.
But if there's another name that could go out there, it could be the Sabres, because they are disappointing this year. Their coach, obviously, Lindy Ruff, I guess not much. Mike Sullivan is a name that Mike Halford brought up. Mike Sullivan struggling. You have one of the worst power plays in Pittsburgh Penguins, and you have a power play of Letang, Carlson, who you added, Crosby, Gensel, Malkin, probably. I don't know who else is there. Who else could be on that power play? But
yeah, I don't understand that.
So how do you have one of the worst? It's insane to me. Yeah, and outside of that, there's no one else I could see that get fired. On the flip side, though, Detroit and Washington could join. Their coaches could join Talkit for Jack Adams right now. Maybe even Laviolette, because no one expected Laviolette to go this nuts, but they're coming back to earth.
One last NHL topic. This man right here might be moving to Virginia. The Washington Capitals and the Wizards.
Yeah, Virginia, honestly, it makes it sound like they're relocating, like how Seattle Supersonics went to OKC or Vancouver.
They're still going to be the Washington Capitals. And
they're just 6 miles down the road.
Yeah, Washington,
from what I heard.
The Washington Capitals,
and the Washington Wizards.
And the Washington Wizards. Just
but no one cares about them.
Playing in a different state.
Yeah, that's all. I mean, we don't need to go too much into it. We didn't look too much, because there wasn't really no breaking news on it either. But
I think it's a little bit stupid. Just personally,
play
in the same city that you're called. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. How annoyed would you be this? Pacers took the game ball away, going back to the NBA, because this just happened. Giannis fuming after trying to get the ball back from his career night, and the Pacers took the game ball away.
Why? Wow, the Pacers are dickheads.
I don't know if he actually ended up getting it, but yeah, he broke Michael Redd's record. 64. Yeah, it's been a while.
It's because it's been a while. 60. I thought that franchise would have higher. I don't know why. With all the names that played there.
Indiana bench boss Rick Carlisle confirmed post-game that the team had taken the game ball for rookie Oscar Tshiebwe. Remember Kentucky?
Yeah.
Who scored his first career point. That's why.
Isn't there multiple?
So I don't know. Like,
isn't it all multiple basketballs?
Yeah, but like,
or it's just one basketball?
I have no clue.
Like in soccer, there's multiple soccer balls.
I don't know. I think it's one. I've never seen.
I think it's one. Yeah.
We were not thinking about Giannis franchise record, so we grabbed the ball. There's two game balls. There's 2 game balls there. We could have taken the other one, but it didn't need to escalate to that. So there are 2.
Yeah. So there's no big deal.
Yeah. So Giannis take the other one, or she would take the other one. I get. Okay. If that was the case, I get it.
Yeah.
The argument. Okay. I thought it was just being petty, but we'll see how that turns out.
You're not dickheads.
Okay.
You're just slightly
petty. But she was first points.
Yes,
what's more valuable, your first point or your franchise record?
I mean, I don't think you're going to see a 64-point night in
every other night, but Giannis is capable of getting 65.
It's pretty easy to get your first point in NBA. I'm just going to say that.
Huh?
Like it's pretty easy.
You can't get your first point in the NBA again because you already got it.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's not like in hockey it's hard to get your first goal.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about still your first point.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying,
I think that's like, if anything,
I'm comparing their difficulty.
I would give it a Tshiebwe because you're never gonna get a chance to get your first point again because it's your first point and you already got it.
There's 2 game balls, right?
Yeah,
figure it out.
Okay, let's get into some soccer. Champions League has wrapped up officially.
All right, before we get into this, we'll just get rid of our depression and quickly get rid of it. Man United did finish 4th. They lost to Bayern. And Copenhagen is the ones that make it through with Bayern Munich as the 2nd seed in Group A.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought Galatasaray would have been the one who made it.
But Copenhagen got a big dub on the last match, day 6. And honestly, 2 amazing results. Like their last 3, they beat Man United 4-3.
They drew
Bayern and they beat Galatasaray.
Yeah, so like that's what they needed.
They clutched up.
Yeah. Basically. Man United, again, the rumors are going to heat up. They got injuries again, Maguire and Shaw, so we're going to get screwed for Liverpool for that sense. Good news is Varane will be back, and there's no Bruno, but the rumor right now is Graham Potter, but I don't know how, it's not a proper source though. Again, I don't think there's a point to fire Ten Hag. He is, as much as he's to blame, but if the players did not respect Louis van Gaal, who's respected, Jose Mourinho, and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because he's a club legend, or legendish, but I would say club legend. How is it? And then, okay, fine, they're not respecting Ten Hag or Rangnick. Okay, how are they gonna respect Graham Potter, what he did with Chelsea?
Bro, I think they just like need to go through some desi tactics and start getting Karshi out. Like genuinely,
Probably.
right? Like,
For those of you who don't know what a Karshi means, it's just a wooden spoon.
Yeah.
Or a spoon and like a metal or wooden spoon, but mainly a wooden spoon.
Wooden spoon. Yeah, like generally, like there's no other tariqa, there's no other way of doing it.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna talk about waste too much time on that. It's the same thing over and over. Fire the coach. Okay, is it really gonna change anything? No. The players need to play better. This is like the fifth. I would understand if this was David Moyes the first time you fire David Moyes. This is not the same.
Fifth coach in like what 10 years or something.
Yeah,
like there's an issue.
Yeah,
right. Like you gotta ride it out with one coach. As simple as that. Like just because you have one down year with a coach doesn't mean you fire him right away.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say here. Like look at Arteta, look at Klopp, look at all these guys. Right, they're top 2 in the Premier League, and they had their down years. They had their down moments. Right, but that's how you build up a team. At the end of the day. Yeah. Yeah, nothing much to say. We'll talk about it more on the weekend when we get thrashed in Anfield. And Anfield, not looking forward to that one, for sure.
Okay, so like you mentioned, Bayern Munich, Copenhagen are the 2 teams that are through. By the way, the UCL draw will be on Monday, so we'll cover it. We'll probably give our best matchup for the first round after we go through all these teams. So on Thursday's pod, we'll discuss more on it. Group B, Arsenal, PSV officially through, but the big news is Sevilla is the one who misses out of Europe completely.
They're out of there.
So everybody who's in Europa now, for either the teams that finished third here and who's ever there, like Liverpool, be excited because Sevilla's out.
All right, Group C is Real Madrid and Napoli.
Easy.
Napoli got their points. Group D is Sociedad and Inter, which was I think locked for a while.
Inter got the second seed, by the way.
Yeah, they're both tied at 12 points.
Yeah.
Group E, Atletico Madrid and Lazio. Group F we'll come back to. Group G,
the
City.
Only team to sweep.
Yeah, only team to sweep, and then Leipzig right behind them. Their points docked were against City, 2 losses, so they were 4-2. And then let's talk about this one a little bit more. Barcelona was already locked, but Porto and Shakhtar had a win-and-end situation today.
Yeah.
And
before you talk about that though, Mark Gui scored one of the goals for Barcelona, and if you guys don't know that name, Jeevan Badwal, our cousin, played against them in the U17 World Cup.
This guy's 16 years old.
Yes, and he was playing for Barcelona. Anyways, I'm going to keep that there. But yeah,
Shakhtar Porto in a win-and-end game did not disappoint, right? Obviously, it wasn't like the back and forth because it became like 4-5-2 at one point.
Yeah.
But 5-3 final for Porto, who qualified as a second seed behind Barcelona. And our Canadian boy, Steven Eustáquio, scored.
In his own goal.
In his own net. But it doesn't matter because your team scored 5 more after that.
Yeah.
So, congrats to Porto. And that's. I'm just trying to big up the score line. That's not a normal score line for soccer.
Yeah, that's usually like a baseball or a hockey score line.
Not even hockey. So,
I've seen 5-3s in hockey. It's not that bad.
Yeah. It's more baseball, I would say.
Anyways, Group F, Group of Death, lived up to it on the final match day. To the point, like I had 2 screens open. I had both games on. The day started with Dortmund, PSG, I think Newcastle, AC Milan. So the way that PSG would get in was a win, and they're in. If it's a draw, then if it depends on how Newcastle does.
So if it's a draw, it would have been...
Newcastle won, PSG would have been out. Newcastle would have been. If AC Milan had won, PSG would have been in due to goal difference at that point. Otherwise, any other way was or the other 2 teams draw. So
we did have some movement during this as well. So in the first half, it was a 1-0 Newcastle lead and a 0-0 Dortmund PSG game. So at halftime, it was Newcastle
going through
as second. And then
keep in mind, Dortmund is already through at this point.
And this is where it got crazy because Dortmund scored.
Yes.
To making it 1-0. So Dortmund's winning 1-0. So PSG needs
2 goals.
2 goals at this moment.
Or they need a goal and a draw on the other side. Yeah.
And then what happens, like 2 minutes later, Zaire Emery scores for PSG.
Yeah.
And then a minute later after that, Milan scored. So it was 1-1 both games. And at that current moment, it's PSG going through.
Yes.
But then Milan goes on and scores.
Yeah.
But in order for Milan to go through, Dortmund needed to score.
Milan, I think, needed to win to have a chance at Europe as well.
Yeah, but like in order to go through Champions League.
Oh yeah. I'm saying Europe in general.
So
Milan won that game.
Milan put themselves in a position to
be in a Europe spot.
Be in the Europe spot, but in a Champions League spot, needing a Dortmund goal. But obviously Dortmund and PSG remained 1-1. And since Newcastle lost, the PSG draw helps them go through, and it's a Dortmund PSG that you predicted.
And Newcastle ultimately missed out completely, and AC Milan take the Europa spot.
So they went from in that game they went from third to second, third to fourth. Like they changed positions so many times. This is kind of reminding of the World Cup last year, of how like a lot of group third match day games for all those groups, especially the Germany-Spain group as well with Costa Rica, and had all that movement. So it was just crazy to see.
Yeah. All right. So before we move on, round of 16 draw will be on Monday, like we mentioned. So give your first round matchup that you would like to see. It's obviously first versus second, I believe. And I guess everything's gonna. I think either way, one of those teams involved will be PSG, Inter Milan, or Napoli. Whichever three you want to put. So, essentially, which first place team do you want to see versus PSG? I think that's the main one.
That's the main one, right? I low key want to see.
I want to
see Arsenal or City.
Arsenal can't versus City.
No, like versus PSG.
Oh,
yeah.
I'd rather go Arsenal, honestly, because I think City wins. I think City beats.
I think it'll be a good test for Arsenal.
I think City beats PSG, so that's why I don't want to pick them.
I think Arsenal still beats PSG. I still give the edge to Arsenal.
Yeah,
because I don't trust PSG in general.
Yeah,
but I think it's a good test for Arsenal for that young squad, especially in a Champions League setting, playing against a big club like that. If they could win that one, right, it'll be a good confidence booster for them there.
Yeah, I don't want to see Bayern PSG again. I don't want to see Madrid PSG again. I don't want to see Barca PSG again. And City PSG, we've seen it. I don't want to see that again. So Arsenal makes the most sense to me. I think that'll be somewhat entertaining.
And then if we want to see another one, I think a Dortmund Napoli.
That would be decent.
Could be
how's
a good
the
one.
Serie A looking like? Let me pull it up just to see.
I think Juventus is in the lead there. The Serie A. It hasn't been great. Like Chiellini.
It's Inter Milan's first.
Chiellini also
and
shout
Napoli's
out to
right
Chiellini.
Yeah.
First of all, retiring.
He's retiring?
He said his MLS Cup final will be the last game, most likely. So I'm not sure if it's like officially retired, but if it is, shout out to Chiellini, one of the Italian great center backs.
Yeah.
Obviously you're gonna compare him to. He's up there in the names. Obviously he might not be ahead of him, but like when you bring up Maldini, Baresi, all these guys, you're gonna bring up Chiellini as well. So congrats to Giorgio Gigi Chiellini.
Yeah. Okay. So it's actually Inter Milan that's first. So if I want to see a matchup against Inter Milan, do you want to see a cup final rematch?
Man, might as well
get it out of the way.
Yeah, get it out of the way.
So yeah, I don't mind seeing a final rematch there. But Arsenal, but in terms of PSG, Arsenal PSG, I think I would love to see that the most.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let's move on to some quick fire. Off the bat, let's go get to UFC. Is this weekend? One fight's already off, which is Ian Gary. It's the guy that talked a lot of shit in one of his last fights. Knockout artist, I believe. Because he has pneumonia, so it's not like he's pulling out that. The UFC doctors have said that he's not able to. The NHL news, like you mentioned, Kyle Connor officially out. They're playing right now, actually. We're watching the game. So they're up on the Kings, which is big.
4 unanswered.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's still going to be a big loss. He was leading for goals at one point with Besser and Matthews. By the way, shout out Besser.
Oh, yeah, he's out like 6 to 8 weeks. Yeah. Knee hit, so it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
And
anyways, back to the UFC. I'll just pull it up. I think the two. I wanted to watch all these fights. Now that I looked at it, now obviously one of them I can't watch anymore.
Yeah.
So it's 4 fights now, and I know we're gonna miss at least one to two of these because we have our own soccer game. So you might have to put it on your phone or something.
Yeah, probably.
But I wanted to watch Ferguson versus Paddy Pimblett just to see can Ferguson finally win a fight. Ever since we started watching Tony Ferguson, we've never seen him win once.
Yeah, genuinely.
Once upon a time, we were supposed to challenge Habib, right? So, Stephen Thompson, I think this is like the sweet hands. I think this is the guy who Ian Gary wanted to fight.
Yeah.
Last time he's fighting in this. You got Alexander Pantoja back with a classic when he beat Brandon Moreno. He's versing Brandon Royval, but Brandon Moreno when he won the belt for flyweight, and he's famous his famous post game, like calling out his dad, saying, "Are you proud of me now?" Because he was raised by a single mom.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And obviously the main event, which is everybody's watching. I think it's obviously everybody watching for Colby Covington versus Leon Edwards, and I don't know which way to go for this.
I do not
Leon
know
Edwards
either.
is the favorite, right? Like Leon Edwards doesn't look like he reminds me of a Sterling in a way. Like I don't think he's the type of guy to.
I don't think
he doesn't look like a guy that would win a fight. Not win a fight, but like a guy who'd be a favorite.
Is he the top dog? Is he gonna do that Usman and Adesanya run? Right? Yeah. I didn't believe that in Sterling. I don't see that in Edwards.
But he's done it twice. Well, one of them it was.
Yeah, well, obviously, like when you he's defended the belt once
against Usman.
Yeah,
and beat him in a decision.
So can he?
Which wasn't like
defending is hard, bro.
Either.
Like doing what Usman and doing what Adesanya did for defending for that long is difficult. So can you be that?
Covington's 2 losses came against Usman.
Exactly, and he took him to.
So 2 of his 3 losses.
Covington honestly had an
wrestler.
He had a case for winning the last fight against Usman. Like he could be the champ right now, and honestly, so he's gonna come into that like he should be the champ, and it's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a tough fight. The question marks is, can Covington get the job done? The thing is, Leon Edwards, can you be the top dog, like how Usman was in that division?
I'll still favor Edwards though. I don't know why.
I think Covington's winning. That's my prediction.
Covington said if he wins, he'll move up and try to challenge
Strickland.
Yeah, but we'll see.
I think
I'll go Edwards decision.
I'm going with a Covington.
Actually, no, I'll go Edwards.
I'm going with.
I think if it goes to decision, Covington wins.
I'm going to Covington decision. That's my prediction.
But then Edwards did prove himself. Now the grounding, he was home, like at home in England.
Yeah.
I'll go. It's in Vegas, but I'll go Edwards. TKO, 4th round.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a close one.
I kind of want to see the knockout again.
It's gonna be a tight one. Yeah, it was a sick knockout when he initially won the belt.
Because like sometimes confidence can do a lot for a fighter, right?
Yeah, no.
I know I'm talking out of my ass a little bit. I've never fought someone before.
Obviously,
but I feel like
when you're in a fight.
But I feel like if
you're in a fight, though.
I feel like when you're
in a fight, confidence gets shattered instantly.
Yeah.
Once you get one hit.
He beat the champ twice. One of them, yes, he was losing a fight and still managed to decoy him into a knockout. People want to call it a lucky shot. Go for it, but it was still a decoy thing that Usman went for.
It was a class. It was just a class knockout, bro. It was
and then
a
he
world
beat
class
him.
knockout.
I don't think there was no like unfair judging when he beat him again, like how Sterling kind of had, and Sean O'Malley also kind of had, right? When he fought Jan.
Yeah.
In this case, yeah, I don't know. We haven't seen Covington fight. I think the last time he fought was at Usman.
Yeah.
So it's been longer than Edwards has fought Usman. So we'll see. I'll go Edwards. I don't know. I'm just leaning towards Edwards. I just want to see him retain. Those are the ones I'll. Paddy Pimblett, Tony Ferguson.
I'm going with Paddy Pimblett.
I'll go. You know what?
I just haven't seen Ferguson win.
Because Paddy Pimblett last fight was very, very
controversial.
Controversial,
yeah, it was very controversial
and questionable too.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think Tony Ferguson needs to go out on a win. This might be it. He's in his Donald Cerrone mode right now. I don't think
he is. He genuinely is.
So I'll go Tony Ferguson. So we'll see. Anyways, that's it for the UFC. But boxing, we got big news. Next weekend, in 10 days' time, we have the biggest. Well, 10 days as of this recording. 9 days when this comes out.
Day of Reckoning.
The Day of Reckoning, which is the heavyweight clash plus the cruiserweight or whatever he is, Bivol. Anyways, Anthony Joshua's fighting Otto Wallin. Deontay Wilder's fighting Joseph Parker. They've also agreed to March. Now, Joshua Wilder reportedly agreed to a March 9 bout in Saudi Arabia, a month after Usyk versus Fury. So, Joshua and Wilder reached a deal for a fight on March 9, according to ESPN's Mike Coppinger. Both Joshua and Wilder would have to win their fights first, obviously.
Yes.
I am more confident in Joshua winning than Wilder, though, because based on level of opponent from what I've heard and seen. But hopefully they both win, and they will take on each other in March. And we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, first you gotta get some dubs. And honestly, I personally do. Yes, as much as I wanted Wilder Joshua right away, I felt like they both need a tune-up fight, right? And obviously, there's gonna be tough fights for both of them.
Wilder more than Joshua. Yeah, Joshua's been active.
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be tough fights for both. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Parker and Wallin are like pushovers, because Wallin did take Fury to the limit as well.
Yeah.
In a previous fight. So I'm not saying these guys are pushovers, but I do believe that this is good competition for both of them. They're both favored, right? So they both should win at the end of the day still. And I feel like that will set up an even better match for March 19th instead of just doing a Joshua Wilder this weekend or the next weekend. Whatever.
Yeah. Let's see how that goes. I just want to see the fight. And then I think the winner of that fight will take the winner of Fury Usyk. Now, if Wilder wins that, do you want to see Fury Wilder 4? I don't know if that will happen.
I don't think that's happening.
But Joshua won't be like who else is left to fight? I think at that point
he's done.
Just fight Ngannou again.
Yeah,
if Fury wins.
Yeah, Fury wins, fight Ngannou again. I'll think that's the only person.
Other than that, like I don't want to see Wilder Fury 4. We've seen them.
It's done. That rivalry.
You want to see Joshua Fury? I know that the Battle of Britain there. I want to see Usyk.
I think that could happen if Joshua beats Wilder.
Yeah,
that's a potential there. But other than that, I think it's genuine Ngannou.
I want to see Ngannou fight Wilder as well.
Yeah. So like I think Ngannou, if he could get a couple more fights and win those, I think he could challenge Fury again if Fury beats Usyk. Other than that, I think Fury he should genuinely retire, because he has nothing left to prove.
Very quickly, if Joshua, you've seen enough Joshua fights and you've seen enough Wilder fights. If they were to fight right now, before you see what happens on December 23rd, who would win?
Right now, I feel like I'm giving it Joshua right now.
I'd give it to Wilder just because I feel like Joshua gets hit with shots. And when I've seen him fight, again, not a professional here. Don't listen to us.
This is my intuition. Like,
you think he'll outbox him?
Yeah, I feel like the longer the fight is, it's gonna favor Joshua.
I feel like Wilder's the guy who.
Wilder can end it in round 1. We've seen it many times. We've seen
Wilder ended in round 10 as well when he was losing a fight.
Yeah, no,
but I've seen here's the thing: when Fury gets hit with a shot, we'll see if he could sustain Wilder because Joshua, because we've seen Fury drop.
Yeah,
like there was controversial in the first fight when they had.
Yeah,
where the 10 count may have been like a slow 10 count, right?
Yeah.
And even in the third fight, he knocked him down twice. Not clean, obviously, because he was able to get up more cleanly on that one. But like this one, you could see, we've seen Joshua get rocked by Usyk, and we've seen him get rocked by Andy Ruiz when his first loss happened. Yeah. Joshua could make him go and sleep. Sorry, Wilder could make Joshua go to sleep.
Anyone go to sleep.
Yeah, so like I'm going Wilder. Not got a slight bias, obviously, because I'm a Wilder guy. But I have reasoning behind it.
Yeah, it's fair reasoning, but I just feel like Joshua is just better the boxer, and Wilder is like, we know he got into boxing late, and he is what he is, which is he's a knockout artist. And 43 wins. He's a knockout artist. 42
knockouts and 40 and 43 wins. He got 42 knockouts, and on top of that, 2 losses, which he's knocked down Fury and 3 times. 4 times he's knocked down Fury.
He's 43, 1-2.
Yeah, and he's knocked down Fury 4 times.
Or depending on how you do it, if it's like the other way around. Like if you do a soccer version, it's 43, 1-2.
Yeah, I think it's 43, 2-1.
So it's like hockey.
Yeah.
So 43, 2-1.
So on those 3 that he did not win, which was all Fury, he also knocked him down 4 times.
Yeah.
And those 3 fights. So
no, that's fair to say. But I just feel like at the current moment, Wilder's been out for a while.
We'll see, because we saw him out for a while and just this, and he knocked the guy out.
Well, that guy is not like
he got knocked out by Joshua in the 10th round. I think the last fight. Robert Helenius. But anyways, we're excited for that one. We'll talk about it more later. Let's get into some NFL. So NFL Thursday Night Football. Raiders, if you don't win, you guys suck. There's no Justin Herbert. He's out for the year with that injury.
Even though you have no,
which is best for you. Now at this point, do whatever you want with Brandon Staley.
They have no Josh Jacobs. By the way.
Now officially,
they have no Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, they have no Keenan Allen, so they have no excuse.
So Raiders should win.
Yes, I don't care. They have Devontae Adams. The other guys don't. So, and honestly, at this point, just keep Brandon Staley at this point. The reason why I said fire Brandon Staley is because of you had Justin Herbert. Now you don't even have Justin Herbert anymore. Do whatever you want.
You guys fire him now. You fire him. In the offseason, doesn't make a difference.
Yeah.
Right?
Now it doesn't, for sure.
You're still the Chargers.
But anyways, that's Thursday night. We think the Raiders are going to win. We're not going to talk much about it. There's no point. There's pointless implications.
It's a battle of the last place in the AFC West. So we'll see what happens there.
We don't need to talk about Monday Night Football because we already talked about it on Monday, right?
Yeah, we covered everything.
Did we? Yeah.
Titans winning and Giants winning. So 2 upset wins in one day.
Shout out, by the way, the New York quarterbacks. Players of the week, Tommy DeVito and Zach Wilson.
Yeah, before we get into superlatives, let's just go into the quick news with the Belichick.
Yeah.
Just try to keep everything together here.
So Belichick report. Yeah. It's apparently been since the Colts game in Germany that it's reported that the Patriots have reportedly parted ways with will part ways with Bill Belichick following this season. So he's technically still a Chief. Sorry, still a Patriot. He's still coaching against the Chiefs. He did say he did not really talk about it on the presser.
Classic Belichick.
Tom Curran reports that when they came out of Germany, the conversations I had that week made very clear that decisions was made. At the end of the year, they would part ways. So if this is true very early, if this is true, I will revisit it if it is true later. Is he retiring? Is he gonna go to a different team?
I don't know.
Chargers
is the only one I could
He's
see.
70-something years old.
Chargers is the only one I could see. Like, go after him.
Washington, I can't see.
I don't think Washington will go after him.
There are reports that Washington is willing to trade for him.
Huh?
The Washington is willing to trade for him.
Okay, I thought it would be like a Eric Bieniemy promotion type of thing there.
He's not getting Terry McLaurin the ball. Like he's
That's true.
Doing crazy things there. Him and Kellen Moore.
Honestly, no. I give credit to Bieniemy. Like
I do too.
For what he's done with Sam Howell, and look at
get that.
It's not even what he's doing; it's what the Chiefs aren't doing as well, right? So you could tell Bieniemy is a key difference there. Obviously, Tyreek Hill is also another factor there as well. But yeah, I mean, the only one I could see is Chargers personally, just because I'd be like, I do believe it's just a better fit. Like their defense hasn't been good. And
he will help that defense for sure.
Yeah, he'll definitely help that. There's good talent on that defense.
So he brings in Josh McDaniels with him.
Then potentially, I don't know. Unless he fires Kellen Moore, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. He brings Josh McDaniels with him.
Yeah, and for Mac Jones' sake, I think he needs Josh McDaniels.
Yeah,
because that's the only time he had a good.
Well, I feel like the Patriots are gonna clean house. They're gonna clean house completely of the Belichick.
I mean, at this rate, like if all these, like yes, we did say give Belichick one more year, but at this rate, if like all these reports coming out, it's just best to part ways, I guess.
Yeah.
Right, like he is 71 years old. They're not gonna be good in the next couple of years, anyways. Right, it's gonna take time. They have a quarterback issue, and another thing is, I just feel like it's over. Yeah. The dynasty's done. Right, like the good times don't last forever. At the end of the day.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the superlatives. We have Saturday games, so that's crazy.
Yeah.
But let's get the Indy Steelers out of the way. Indy, if you don't win this game, disappointing because they don't have Kenny Pickett, they don't have TJ Watt, they might not have
TJ Watt's training to play.
Oh, he's training to play.
He had a full practice today.
Okay, so never mind about that.
He had a full practice on Wednesday.
Deontay Johnson is questionable.
Alex Highsmith is questionable. Kenny Pickett's out. So Watt and Highsmith can play, and Najee Harris is also questionable for them as well. For the Steelers.
Yeah, I don't see Watt on the report here. So
yeah, he had a full practice.
Okay, so never mind about the TJ Watt part. Okay, so
no, he's still questionable, but like he's probably gonna play.
Okay, Colts defense, figure that out. That's all I gotta say for this one because there's no way you should allow the Steelers.
No way, bro. If you allow 20 points to the Steelers, I'm gonna be very disappointed in you.
Yeah. Anyways, going back to is this considered prime time? It's the only game on.
Well. Kind of halfway you could consider that
because it's the only game on.
Yeah, like it's not like prime time, but like
because prime time is going to be the game later we'll talk about.
Yeah,
but anyways, collective game of the week. We decided
that disappointment, bro.
Okay. Finish off the week 14.
Finishing off week
rankings
14.
are out by the way, so you guys check that out.
Biggest disappointment for me is the Miami Dolphins. You with a win, you would have been the number 1 seed in the AFC. And this makes the Ravens game much more important with between you and the Ravens. That's going to be coming up in a couple of weeks here. And you shouldn't be losing to that Titans team. Don't get me wrong. Give credit to Will Levis and everyone else on the Titans staff to coming back. I think that's the first comeback in like a two touchdown comeback within like the 6 minutes remaining in a game in like a long time. So, yeah, I give credit to the Titans, but very disappointed in the Dolphins there.
Detroit Lions.
Especially in the last drive. That was a good drive.
All right, Detroit Lions. Disappointment. You guys barely won the other game. You guys haven't been the same. You guys are still 9-4. That's the only good part of your guys' season. But you guys are like the big frauds, I guess, of the NFC. You know, at one point there was discussions. Are you part of that big three, making it a big four? Clearly not. You lose to the Bears 5-8 team now. The Bears are coming around, so shout out to them. But Detroit Lions, disappointment. Nothing much to say. You guys couldn't. Your defense is struggling for some reason. Dan Campbell got to figure some stuff out there. You might lose Ben Johnson next year, so you got to figure. Your offense has not been bad, but Jared Goff's been throwing pick after pick.
They've been struggling recently.
So 2 picks this game. So you got to figure that.
But it's not all on Jared Goff, but their defense. Honestly, I think they've been a bad streak.
Bro. I mentioned the Bears right now. Do you think, because right now they're projected the first overall pick, do they go after Caleb Williams, or do they make another trade?
This happened last year. Justin Fields is finally turning it around.
But the difference with this year and last year is Caleb Williams is arguably. I'm saying before the draft. Not saying he's better than CJ Stroud, but Caleb Williams, if he were in last year's draft, was supposed to be the best quarterback. Last year there was question marks, right? There's a reason why people are saying CJ should have been one, or Bryce, or Will Levis. Even his name popped up, and AR obviously, right?
Yeah.
So this year they're saying it's definitive Caleb Williams, who obviously underwhelming end to his college career, but yeah, it's like, do they go quarterback and just trade, Justin Fields to a team like this, to his home state of Atlanta, or do they trade him?
I don't know, but it's definitely gonna be more of a conversation now. Before obviously at the beginning of the year, like, okay, yeah, it's gonna be Caleb Williams because Justin Fields is struggling, but he did the same thing last year, and I think it's still gonna be Caleb Williams. I think they should draft him because at the end of the day, Justin Fields has not put together a full year of a good quarterback play.
Yeah.
And he's done it both where it doesn't really matter for them, right? Last year it didn't matter for him. This year it doesn't matter for him.
Yeah.
At the moment.
All right, we'll talk about
unless it's definitely going to be a more of a conversation if he does drag him to the playoffs.
I don't.
But
actually, he's right there.
That's still a question mark though.
Yeah.
But yeah,
we'll do the playoff picture in a second. So
speaking of the Lions, this is their last 5 games.
Yeah.
Just to tell you how bad their defense has been playing. 38 against the Chargers. That's what they allowed.
Yeah.
They allowed 26 against the Bears.
Yeah.
29 against the Packers. 28 against the Saints.
Yeah.
Another 28 against the Bears. Right? The Saints and 2 Bears, they're not good offenses. So you could tell their defense is atrocious.
Yeah. All right, now we're going with the surprise team, or like the best
surprise team of the week, yes.
New York Jets. Texans were my finalist for disappointment until I saw the Lions. But New York Jets dropping 30 on a team that has Zach Wilson on it, on a team that has CJ Stroud balling. I don't know when he got his concussion.
The Jets defense balled out.
To be honest, though, it was the first 2.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the Jets defense obviously balled out, but Houston's defense is not a slouch either.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they've been up and coming.
They did not play good.
They've been young. But the week before, their top guys in Will Anderson and Derek Stingley played well. This week, clearly not, right? So
just no way. You allowed 30 points and a half, not even a game.
Yeah.
Because and
CJ obviously struggled.
Just take the first half, throw it out of the way.
Yeah.
That game was started in a halftime.
CJ, if had any MVP conversations, this might drop a little bit because of it.
Yeah, it's
10 for 23, 91 yards isn't great.
It's gonna be a stretch, obviously, but at the rate that Tyreek Hill's going at,
yeah,
it should be him. But we'll see there. My surprise team, the Patriots. One surprise is you're winning. Another surprise is you dropped 20 plus points, right? And
against the Steelers,
against a good decent defense in the Steelers. So that's more surprising to me that you won a game by scoring points.
Yeah,
right. Because your defense, who's been allowing 10 points or less, you don't win those games. But then when they allow 18, which is still pretty good, right? You win that game by scoring 21. So, yeah, congrats to the Pats.
Before we go to the next week's Superlatives, let's talk about the playoff picture very quickly here. Obviously, Ravens have the number 1 seed up right now. They could get that locked on New Year's Eve if they beat the Dolphins. Dolphins are at number 2, and then the Chiefs have the tiebreaker at the Jags at the 3 and 4. Chiefs are a whole different story right now. Wildcard 1, Cleveland, who's a game up on Steelers and Colts to close it out. But there's also 6 other 7-6 teams, right? And like I said, I ultimately think the Bills will make it through. But yeah, so we're not gonna go with the predictions. We'll see what happens in the.
Yeah, we covered a lot on the last pod as well.
Yeah, so we'll do the playoff picture. We'll preview slightly what it looks like now, but we'll go with how it goes week by week, because it's getting close when a playoff picture appears on the score app.
Exactly. So there's 6 or 7-6 teams in the AFC, and then everyone else in the NFC are 6 and 7.
Yeah, so that's the other side. They're 6 and 7. To your point, the Giants and the Bears have a chance.
They do.
So with how crazy the season's was, once upon a time, Seattle held the 2nd spot.
Well, I give Bears more of a chance than the Giants because the Giants do have to play Philly twice.
True, but once upon a time, Seattle Seahawks held the 2nd wildcard spot, I think, and now they're 2nd out of it. The only team right now that's safe is obviously the Eagles. So
Yeah.
And then the Vikings are 7-6, and I won't be surprised if they fall off because they only won 3-0. Talk about a soccer score or a hockey score there, not even a baseball score.
Yeah.
When you think 3-0, you would think any sport but football, essentially.
Yeah.
At least North American.
And basketball.
Yeah, true. Outside of basketball.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get into next week's superlatives. So
Collective
game of the week. Yeah.
Game of the week is the Buffalo Bills versus the Dallas Cowboys. I'll quickly talk about the Bills. They've been on a good little run here. Yes, those last 2 weeks have been good to them. Starting off with they did lose to Philly, but they were like a good loser, right? Like they played well, and it was like a heartbreaking loss. The bye week, much needed for them, and then now coming off of a victory over the Chiefs, and honestly, I think it's a deserved victory at the end of the day. I'm not even gonna comment about the Kadarius Toney call or not. I think the Bills were just the overall better team, and they edged out the win at the end of the day.
Bills are coming around. Look like a different offense with Joe Brady, obviously. Dallas, though, on a streak, but they are going to Buffalo, and it's December.
It's gonna be cold.
So there's going to be that. I'm surprised they're labeled a favorite just because it's the Cowboys still. Cowboys, like right now, arguably, if you're looking at quarterback-wise, Dak could be the MVP.
Yes.
So I think he is the favorite at MVP right now. It's between him and Lamar, in my opinion, now after Jalen Hurts kind of struggled a bit. But other than that, like, the Bills are coming around. So that's why it's going to be a good game to watch, in my opinion. Defensively, let's see what the Bills could do. I'll talk about more about them with my matchup or, like, the players to watch. But we'll move on to our own game that we're probably
game to watch, basically, that we'll pay attention to. I'm going to start off with the Jaguars-Ravens. This is going to be the Jaguars' last fighting chance at that 1 seed, right? You got to beat the 1 seed and the Ravens to have a chance there, and hope you get a bye there. If not, if you lose this week, you could have the same record as the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
As well. So you could lose the AFC South potentially if you lose this week.
Yeah.
At the end of the week. But I think with tiebreakers, they'll still be number one.
On Indy, yes. But if they're all three-way tie, then I don't know. It depends on what the division record is.
Yeah.
For them to be in a three-way tie, I think they would need to lose both their Texan games. Or did they play the Texans?
They beat the Texans and lost to the Texans. So they're 1-1 against the Texans.
Titans,
I don't know. I don't think they play Titans.
So that's the thing, right? So we'll see what happens there. My game of the week is a Saturday night primetime game. Denver Broncos versus Detroit Lions, right? Denver Broncos no longer considered that team that, once upon a time when we had Nick Shook on the pod earlier in the year where we're kind of roasting them, especially Nick and Jobin. And to the point, even I think Nick was like, okay, I got to come around on these guys when he's been on Halford and Brough lately. But even you've come around on them.
Yeah, I mean, I give credit where credit's due.
And Detroit's been struggling. So they're like similar in my opinion.
They both need wins desperately.
Yeah.
Right? At the end of the day, Detroit's no lock at winning the division either right now.
Yeah.
Because of how poor they've been playing, especially defensively. And with the Minnesota creeping 2 games behind. So...
Yeah.
And then
speaking of it...
the Broncos, obviously. Yeah, you already know their situation.
Broncos could win the division.
As well. Yeah.
Yeah.
They can. They're 1 game behind the Chiefs.
And they have right now a tiebreaker on them.
Yeah.
Because they won.
But I assume the Chiefs will beat the Patriots.
True. But just in general to close it out, right? So they could still win it. And speaking of that, this could be my... Would you consider Denver winning an upset? Because I was going to consider this as my upset. No. Okay, so then my upset will be... Seahawks. So Philly.
So you think Seahawks could potentially
That's
win?
A potential upset for me.
For me...
Seahawks could win by upset. Because just... They both teams are struggling. Philly has to figure this shit out. Seahawks are at home. They got to figure... their shit out, obviously, but the Seahawks can't lose all their games against the good team, right? They're bound to win one. Not saying bound to win one, but like
they're not. Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not confident with this one, but I think this is the only main one I could see that could be an upset, like a true upset. I have one. If you're not picking this one, I'll talk about this team in a second.
Falcons, Panthers. I just feel like this is the only truest upset if possible. I do believe the Panthers have one more win in them. And against a divisional matchup, I think is very possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it's not this week, I do believe the Panthers will be a 2-win team.
Okay. If I were to switch mine, Giants upsetting the Saints.
Oh, that's yeah.
I mean,
any Saints game.
It's -6 based on this.
Any Saints game, you could pick the upset.
Yeah,
potentially.
So that's why I was like, if you didn't go with that, I would just say
like
that.
I was genuinely thinking about that one as well.
Okay, so
players
last
to
one.
watch. Yeah.
Stephon versus Stephon. Gilmore versus Diggs, because Stephon Gilmore, what we didn't mention last time was, we might as well say it now. AJ Brown went to him and says, "You're old." You don't say shit to Stephon Gilmore, man. We saw it last year when they were picking on him in the boring Broncos Colts game. Man, I miss Stephon Gilmore, man. Every time I'm gonna say it, I don't care.
Yeah.
Came out and balled on that defense, like balled out.
Yeah, destroyed.
AJ Brown couldn't do shit.
Pocketed AJ Brown, who's probably been like.
Who's honestly, if it wasn't for Tyreek Hill, he would have been talked about. I would say
he's the third best receiver this year. AJ Brown.
Who's second?
CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, but like AJ Brown and Dunn would be talking about more if Tyreek Hill didn't exist this year.
Yeah, 100%.
So, but the fact that you pocketed him is insane. So
yeah, that's wild. For me, I'm going with Jared Goff.
And sorry, the Diggs part of things. Let's see. Diggs needs to pop off to chance to win. I'm not saying this because of your fantasy.
I'm already done. I lost.
But I'm just saying in general, like that's the number one receiver. So we'll see.
I'm already out of the playoffs. I went on a 5-game losing streak.
And Josh Allen is on a pick run, so
yeah,
look out for Stephon Gilmore, but maybe Deron Bland getting up another pick 6.
Potentially. But yeah, I'm on a 5-game losing streak for my fantasy, so I choked. Actually, so I missed the playoffs. But for me, players to watch is Jared Goff. Speaking of turnovers, this man has been on a run of turnovers himself. Yeah, is he reverting back to the old Jared Goff from the late LA Rams days, or is he gonna come back and be that Jared Goff from that finished off the season last year and also started off the season this year?
Pretty much, let's see how he does, because with the draft coming up, who knows, man? Detroit could draft like a guy like Michael Penix.
Potentially, I don't think a Penix gonna be in the top 10.
No, I'm saying about like
so like they could get.
They would be a late pick. Detroit would be in the playoffs, right? So they'll be a later pick.
Yeah, so they'll be in the 20s. But I'm saying I don't think Penix is the top 10. So I think.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's why I said Penix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. I'm just saying Penix out there. I'm sure there's other. Jaden Daniels is in this draft class, by the way.
Yeah, I think.
So
he could be top 10 just because
he's mocked at 4 to the Giants right now by Matt Miller from ESPN. But that's it, right, for the NFL?
That's it for NFL.
MLB. Let's
MLB.
Talk some rumors. Let's talk some reporting here. Let's start off with
the Giants.
No, before we talk about that, Ohtani, might as well clickbait him one last time.
That is the Giants as well.
Okay, well, not about Yamamoto's, or not that either. Ohtani.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say like he could opt out of his deal. That part.
Oh yeah, if the owners were.
If the owner whoever loses their roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could opt out of his deal.
He could opt out of his deal. So please leave.
Yeah, that's there. But the Giants, one I'm talking about with Ohtani, is they offered a similar contract.
Oh yeah.
Right. So we thought the Jays fan might be depressing, but I guess Giants fan are in more depressing town because of last year of Arson Judge.
This just proves that he wanted to be a Dodger this whole time.
Yeah, Aaron Judge slipped out of their fingers. Carlos Correa genuinely wasn't healthy enough to play.
Yeah.
And then now obviously Shohei Ohtani, but you counteract that with a man from South Korea.
Yeah. So let me just pull that report up exactly. Yeah, so this guy from South Korea who was also supposed to come over was linked to the Jays, obviously, and other big market teams for hitting. I don't know how good he will be. He could be one of those. They're not as confident as him as they are with Yamamoto's pitching.
Jung Ho Lee is an outfielder.
Yeah.
6-year, $130 million contract from South Korea. So it's like one of those phenoms like Yamamoto is coming from Japan. Potentially. Obviously, we've seen a lot of guys coming from Asia, especially from Japan, like Masataka Yoshida for Boston, Seiyo Suzuki a couple years ago for the Cubs. Obviously, Ohtani's one of them. Now with Yamamoto.
Back in the day, Hideki Matsui.
Yeah, so a South Korean has entered the mix in Jung Ho Lee. And I guess hopefully he's some sort of consolation prize for them.
Yeah, I mean, he's supposed to be solid, but let's see how he actually turns out. He's supposed to be at center field full time based on this report. So we'll see how it goes. Obviously another name that Jays missed out on, so we'll see how it goes. Rumors though, that I saw, number 1 Christian Yelich as Blake Murphy, not prematurely, but when he was on our podcast, predicted that a guy like Christian Yelich could get traded. It might be a possibility for the Jays.
Yeah, because there's a lot of TV deals that are kind of like being destroyed for some of these like
check out the
mid teams. Like Cleveland, I think has some issues. That's why they traded like a couple of their players away.
Check out the Blake pod to get more info on that.
And then another team he brought up was the Brewers. So Yelich could be a person that will be traded. Former MVP, obviously hasn't really played this to the same level as before, but he's still a decent enough baseball player that that could help out a team.
Other rumors that are there are Tyler Glasnow. It's looking like when. It's more of a when. He'll be a Dodger at this point. Looks like him and I forgot who the other player was might be joining in there, and also potentially with Yamamoto. So they're not going to be out on Yamamoto still, but yeah, they might trade for Tyler Glasnow. And then now going with the Yamamoto, Ohtani, Freeman, and Betts, the top three have met Yamamoto to convince him to come to the Dodgers. He's met with other teams.
Is that tampering?
I don't think so.
I mean, in baseball, I don't think anything is illegal.
I don't know if that's tampering because it's an issued
right?
meeting, right? That's the thing.
Okay, that's true. Yeah,
it's not like during the season either. They're actually a free agent.
Yeah, free agent. Yeah, makes sense.
So it's not tampering. Tampering would be if it was like before the
period.
Like how like the MLB or the NBA guys sign a guy 1 minute after the thing. Like that. You investigate a report for tampering. But no, in this case, it is they met with him, but they're saying I think John Heyman says that, or Bob Nightingale has said, the Yankees are still the favorites, and if the Yankees get him, the Jays are screwed.
The Jays are going to be in trouble. They're not winning the AL East, a division that they haven't won in 8 years now. For their last playoff run in like 2015.
So yeah, John. That's what John. Those are some of the rumors. Cody Bellinger is still out there as well.
Like nothing really happened.
Nothing. The floods. What is it? The floodgates didn't open up since the Ohtani.
There's still a lot of good players left. Bellinger, Snell, all these guys. So there's still a lot of top players left on the market, like those higher end guys that were listed as. Then again, it's not a great class, especially in the hitting side, but there's still some good players that could help out some teams here. But the biggest one, the generational talent, is gone. So yeah, is that wrap of MLB basically for now? Yeah, I don't see any other rumors unless you saw any news. No, I didn't see anything. Nothing really major happened other than Jung Ho Lee and that's Glasnow. I think it's like closer to happening. Yeah, and you're reacting to Giannis. Yeah, that's why I was just like, I wanted to see what happens there. Seeing you lose focus. But we gotta do an outro. So let's start on that. Once again, we appreciate everybody guys watching. Make sure you guys go check out the Greg Wyshynski podcast and check out his stuff on ESPN. It was a banger pod. We talked about who's better, Canada or USA. So check out that poll coming soon. Yeah, so check out that pod and also subscribe. We try to post daily sports content for you guys. The challenge videos are back, so on the YouTube shorts. It will be out. One will be out tomorrow. We know you guys love sports. That's why you're here watching us. So if you made it to the end of the video, help us out with a subscribe. Help us out with a like button as well, and please answer the pinned comment question down below. Follow our socials and rate, review if you're listening on audio platforms. And other than that, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.